It's Hunter Engrav and Tyler Logan. Leading the field to green to the Geico restart zone. The Foundation Fighting Blindness 130 is underway. These first 2 laps are going to be treacherous on cold tires. Get ready for some sliding and hopefully some saving. Good lead for Engrav. They're battling side by side behind him. Vroman lunging underneath Tyler Logan. Poliski and Kay side by side to round out the top 5. Lap number 1 goes to Engrav.
Loose already here. It's only lap 8.
Here we go for the lead. Tyler Logan to the inside. First time he could root Engrav off the paint there. And Logan's going to clear. By Palumbo on Poliski. It doesn't go well, and now he gets tagged by his teammate Kyle Zittel. Palumbo spins it into the infield, down the front stretch, all the way to the tail of the field. Dye and McKinnon and Lockett's battling as Engrav now going for it. It's the ground underneath of Tyler Logan. And is going to clear. Oh, Logan's so loose. I believe Corey Rutherford, Rob Williams. Garrett Clark as well. That's a big crash, and Rob Williams is toast. That truck is destroyed.
Yeah, they both kind of went up and down at the same time, and then Gary, oh dear.
John Van Leerens just got past Andy Poliski.
Farther back, and it was Ryan.
Ryan died. Oh, and
he is extremely hard into that inside wall, and it upsets the truck. Wow, you can see it get loose. He's trying to make that save, and Dorno just barely gets into the left rear. And at that point, there is nothing that 20 could do.
Spin in the back. Oh, no! Caution is out. That is a big pileup. Garrett Rainey, Paul Sargent. Oh, Joshua Motacek, Eric Breeding. Motacek just got cleaned out.
Oh, and I take that back. Flinky was actually able to skate through.
He's underneath. Kay and Logan side by side as there's one in the wall, and the caution is out. It's Rodney Matney. 2 laps to go. Another great launch for Hunter Engrav. Kay at least able to get down onto the bottom if he so chooses. But can't hold it. Logan's got to run.
Whoa.
They're all squirrely.
Okay, trying to block.
Hunter Engrav sees the white flag in the lead, a healthy advantage over John Kay. They can't quite hold the bottom. Logan will close in for another go for the runner-up spot.
Wrecking farther back in the pack, not going to affect the leaders.
Hunter Engrav out of turn number 4 is a winner with the Venom Truck Series. What could be better in these trying times than a crunchy, juicy pickle? Quite a few drivers are going to find themselves in a pickle here tonight as we take to the banks of the 3/4 mile short track in Richmond, Virginia. It's Richmond Raceway for the 3rd time in Venom Truck Series history. Round number 3 of the longest season of the Venom Truck Series. We're just getting things underway, but already things are pretty wild here in season number 8 for the Venom Truck Series here on Turn 200. The Kosher Brand Pickle 190 here at Richmond Raceway is going to be another look at short tracks, but this time in the daytime, things are going to stay pretty hot here in Richmond on the sim. Should make things pretty interesting here as this race rolls along. Hello everybody, Tommy Cook, Matt Williamson here with you as we get ready to get things underway for qualifying. We'll give you a look at the point standings here it is Hunter and Grab after his win last week, leading the point standings after his first career victory and his second career start. Season 6, this race was won by John Kay. He is second in the points after his runner-up finish now. How about Joshua Freed, another rookie driver, one that we really didn't have pegged for early success here, but he has balled out, to say the least, to open this season up. He is third in the point standings. Jeremy McKinnon has slipped all the way back to fourth, and Hayden Palumbo, another rookie, will round out your top 5. Your Daytona winner, Rodney Matney, slipped down to 7th. Andy Poliski, the Season 5 champion, is in 8th. And Ryan Dye has slipped all the way down to 20th after a rough round of racing at Charlotte last week. Quite a few names down there with Ryan Dye that are notable that we had pegged as playoff drivers or even as potential championship favorites. So a lot of work to be done here tonight at Richmond Raceway. This is how historically things have shaken out at Richmond. We average about 7 cautions per race here. Usually have about 17 lead changes, but I would say both of those stats are going to be thrown out the window today. Again, this newer truck, less downforce, hot track temperature. Saw quite a few lead changes at Iowa Speedway with the Max V trucks on last Thursday night, if you were here for that, including a 1/1000th of a second photo finish. Not saying we could duplicate that tonight. But similar feels between Iowa and Richmond. They had quite a few cautions in that race as well, even with a little more forgiving track conditions. But again, a couple of the favorites to win this race should be the 2 drivers that have won here at Richmond in the past, Chad Stearns and John Kay, if indeed Chad Stearns is here tonight. But Hunter and Grab has been lighting up the charts across Turn 200 in multiple series. He's won multiple races. Could he go back-to-back in just his 3rd round with the VTS? We're just a few minutes away from getting this race underway here. It's the Kosher Brand Pickle 190 when we return here. Coverage of the Venom Truck Series is around the turn on Turn 200.
A blind night that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the divine dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
And now, our feature presentation.
Welcome back into live coverage of the Venom Truck Series here on Turn 200. It's Tommy Cookie and Matt Williamson hanging out with you. Oh boy, we normally see Richmond Raceway under the lights here, but we decided to mix things up here today, and the ones who are going to pay for that are the drivers out on track. Matt Williamson, would you agree?
I would certainly agree. It's been it's definitely been a little bit of a learning curve here in practice, and saw quite a few drivers trying to get those qualifying laps in, and either were unable to because they made contact with the wall or spun out. So yes, it's going to be very difficult. Track is very slick. The trucks are extremely loose. The drivers are going to have to give each other plenty of room here if we don't want to have a caution festival here tonight.
Yeah, we average 7 cautions here per race. I'm going to just say, with no disrespect intended, I think we're going over that tonight. Just because there's less downforce on the trucks. This is the Venom Truck Series first short track race since the new package came out. We saw at Iowa on Thursday, kind of similar to Richmond, a little bit bigger. But I mean, even with some favorable track conditions there at Iowa, the trucks were still a bit of a handful at times. Way hotter on the track here today. Matt will give you the exact number here in about a minute. But already got Goodleaf and Logan Lester hanging out with us, cheering on Ryan Dye. Ryan Dye qualified inside the top 10 here today, and he's on the precipice of a career milestone as well. We'll tell you about that as the race rolls along today. So thank you to you both for watching, and hello to anybody else that's out there in Turn 200 land, getting ready to cheer on the drivers of the Venom Truck Series for the Kosher Brand Pickle 190 here at Richmond Raceway. The race names only get more creative and more of a mouthful from here on out for the rest of the 20-race season here, heading into round number 3 tonight. It's, short track racing, hot track, less downforce on these trucks, and a lot of the drivers that were fast in practice did not get a great qualifying run in, and some drivers that did not have great practice speed got good qualifying runs in. So it'll be interesting to see, with kind of a little bit of a topsy-turvy field here, how the drivers are going to react here as we head now to the starting grid for 190 laps tonight at Richmond Raceway under the sun. And with his second career pole in a row, it is Hunter Engrav leading the field to green in just his third career start. Can he get back-to-back wins in just his third start in his Venom Truck Series career? Jan Van Leer, great starting spot for Jan. He will line up on the outside pole next to the driver that is second now in the points to Hunter Engrav, a runner-up finisher last week at Charlotte and a previous winner here at Richmond Raceway. That is John Kay, the infamous one, starts in third. Rodney Matney, the Daytona winner, will line up on the outside of row number 2. Great qualifying run for the 83. Tyler Logan, a podium finisher from last week at Charlotte, starts in P5. How about Cole Maxwell qualifying P6 here? Fantastic qualifying effort from him. Paul Ellison has led some laps here, including in Season 6. He starts in 7th tonight. Matt Schlosser had a good oval run last week, and he's led laps in both oval races this season. He rolls off from P8. Kyle Zittel and Hayden Palumbo, who recovered quite nicely after his early spin at Charlotte last week to finish just outside of the top 10. He starts now in the 10th position. Ryan Dye and Steve Roman, a power duo there on row number 6. It is Luke Peterson and Joshua Motocek back in row number 7. Jeremy McKinnon is back tonight. He starts in 15th next to Josh Jackson, who is back for the first time since Daytona in 16th. Garrett Rainey and Austin Holyfield then on row number 9, and it's Zach Lockett and Eric Breeding back on the 10th row. Pascal Samard and Josh Freed on row number 11. Leo Smith and Dan Miglin on row 12. Gary Clark and Corey Rutherford back on row 13. Rob Williams, Kenneth Graves on row 14. Chad Stearns tried to get a qualifying run in and spun out twice. Unfortunately, he'll start all the way back at 29th next to Darby Marriott, the 30th. And Jordan Jorno, the 31st and final driver to take to the grid here today. Matt Williamson, the track conditions, the lay of the land here at Richmond Raceway.
We'll take a quick look at the track conditions here, and there is a reason the drivers have been struggling. That's because the track temperature, 126 degrees. That is by far the hottest it's been in the Venom Truck Series for quite a while. So drivers, it is really going to have an effect on them here tonight. We got 190 laps around Richmond here today. The pit window for fuel is 105 laps, but they're not going to have to worry about that. They are going to need to worry about taking tires at some points during the race. They're going to develop their strategies as they will, because they have 3 extra sets of tires. Really not that many for this race, I don't feel like. So they're going to have to pick and choose how they take them carefully here.
Paul Ellison just had an issue, pulled off down the track into the grass in the front stretch, but pulled back on and is back in his starting spot. Ryan Dye, career start number 100 tonight. He's just 4 laps away from his 1,000th career lap lead. He's got some work to do to get up to the front of the field, though, as it's Hunter Engrav and Jan Van Leer on the front row here at Richmond. Round number 3 is underway. These are going to be some treacherous opening laps here if we even make it past turns 1 and 2. Engrav with the early advantage. John Kay there in the Goodwrench GM throwback number 2. Pulls in line behind Jan Van Leer, who has second outright. And we got a lap in. Matney and Logan side by side for P4. Schlosser, Maxwell, Palumbo, and Ellison right now the top 10 as we're slipping and sliding.
Yeah, Matney up here on the top side. Early on, the top side is really, really slick, trying to get the power off, but he's doing a nice job. And you can see that the tires have started to warm up, starting to get some temperature into him. He's able to rail the outside and get past Logan. Now Schlosser is going to attempt to do the same here. Oh, no! There goes one, Steve Roman.
That's Vroman. He was battling side by side with Luke Peterson. Caution is not out because Roman is off the track. And now the caution is out. So that is caution number 1. It was Vroman and Peterson side by side. They were battling for the 12th position. But the contact, could have come from any one of the 4 corners of that truck. They were all jam-packed in there back outside of the top 10.
Yeah, trying to get the runs off the top side. You just get so loose with the banking up there, especially early on here in the runs. Getting a nice look at the updated paint here for Steve Roman as well. That thing's looking nice. Love the purple outline of the numbers. Looks pretty spiffy there. But we're going to take a look at the incident, unfortunately, for the 00.
Yeah, it looked a lot spiffier a couple seconds ago.
That's Vroman up top there in the 00. Peterson down low in the 38. Yep, and you see it right there. Vroman just gets loose, has to get way out of the gas, and it's actually a teammate, Jeremy McKinnon, that ends up tagging the right rear. McKinnon didn't expect Steve to have to check up that much, but since Steve had Peterson underneath him, he couldn't really just stay in it and work down the racetrack. Pretty good hit there for Steve, too. The right front of the truck hit pretty hard. The right rear did a couple of times, too. And when Steve tried to pull back out onto the racetrack, that's what brought the caution out. There's really no apron down there to get turned around without being on the racetrack.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it didn't trigger, considering, like you said, there's not really any off track here. You're just kind of, not that that's really a racing line, but it should be close enough that would auto trigger a caution. Regardless, yeah, like you said, some right side damage on the front and the rear for the 00 to repair. He and Jordan Journeau are the only two drivers that have come down pit road under this caution period. I believe Journeau and Gary Clark had EOLs from last week at Charlotte. Clark was deemed responsible for the contact, I believe, with Corey Rutherford. And Journeau was bopped for his contact with Ryan Dye. But got a couple laps in there under the green flag. It's lap number 7 right now. We're doubling up for this restart. Engrav and Van Leer, Kay and Matney, and Matt Schlosser the top 5. Tyler Logan to the outside of row 3 and 6. Hayden Palumbo has crept up to 7th already from the 10th starting position. Cole Maxwell slipped back to 8th. Paul Ellison, I'll be interested to hear what the problem was there on the pace lap. I'm not sure if you caught it on the broadcast, but it's almost like the wheel disconnected, but he pulled straight into the infield and then came up and got his spot back, and there was no issue. But he's in 9th now with his teammate Kyle Zittel starting to his outside. That is your top 10. Coming to lap number 8 here. And Grav back to the green. Caught Jan out a bit there. And, of course, winner at Martinsville. Last time we went short track racing here in the Venom Truck Series. Also had a great run at USA going early last season as Zach Lockett makes some contact further back. And now there is problems. Caution, Kenneth Graves has gone for a spin on the backstretch. And they're going to start to pile up here. The 14 of Kenneth Graves will bring out our second caution of the night. And wouldn't be at all surprising to see if that was just a solo spin.
I think that's going to be the cause of most of them here tonight. I mean, the last one did have a little help, but it was as a result of a solo incident. Oh, yeah, and Kenneth gets way too hot into the corner there and then tries to back off, diamond it off. And very similar to what happened with Vroman, he started getting loose and had to back way off the throttle to not loop it all the way around. But Gary Clark was there with somebody on his outside. Didn't really have too many places to go with really no infield there to bail off into. So Kenneth is going to get tagged and turned around. But other than a little backside damage, not going to be too terrible there for the 14.
Kenneth is the only OG Pony Express driver here tonight. No Mark Dillon Jr. for the second week in a row. No Tyler Berger tonight. But Kenneth does have a teammate out there, Austin Holyfield, who is inside the top 20 right now. And that means that Tyler Logan's by himself once again for Pony Express 2. Pony Express the sequel. Well, if you're the leaders right now, are you liking these laps under caution here? Or are you wanting to get racing?
I mean, I would imagine that they would like to get racing. It can get pretty tiresome just rolling around without any adrenaline going through your body. But
yeah,
I mean, for Hunter Engrav, being able to just take control of these, the restart zone is pretty early on, right after you get. I mean, it's basically in turn 4, and it just allows the leader to get a huge jump. It's really difficult to time it if you are the other car on the front road to time it up with the leader. So, I mean, pretty much 10 out of 10 times the leader's getting a great jump here. So I'm sure Engrav really isn't too concerned about it. Although, once we get later on in the race, dive bombs may become a problem.
Well, he has elected the outside here, which is interesting. He started and restarted the last caution on the bottom. I'll put Jan underneath him now. Kay and Matney still in the second row. It's still Schlosser and Logan on row 3, Palumbo and Maxwell on row 4, and Zittel and Ellison on the 5th row. Peterson and Dye, the first two on the outside looking in of the top 10. Back underway. Like you said, great jump there for Engrav. Ask Denny Hamlin where that restart zone is.
John Kay
Schlosser
able to get out in front of Matney. Matney a little bit loose. Schlosser going to pull up underneath as well.
Schlosser with a great run. Took Tyler Logan out of 2. Now has Matney cleared as Rodney's struggling a bit on the top side. And John Kay struggling in front of Schlosser now. He'll go for another one into 1. Jockeying all through the field here, in and out of the top 10. Ryan Dye is just past Kyle Zittel to get into 10th. Or rather, he's working on him on the outside here. Ellison and Maxwell side by side. Kay and Schlosser now as well.
Oh, John up the racetrack a little bit, but should have a good run off the top here.
Truck looking a little more steady underneath him now that we get a few laps in. Lap 16 on the board, but the majority of the laps have been under the caution thus far.
Oh, there's somebody that went way down the racetrack. Couldn't tell who it was, but had to make a little bit of a save there, it looked like.
Zittel has fended off Ryan Dye for now. Dye has Peterson underneath him to try and hang on to 11th. I think that the hole that Ryan was trying to go for got plugged up by Cole Maxwell, who started to slide backwards and slide the rear tires nearly down into the side of the 53. As Schlosser and Kay continue into battle here for 3rd.
Yeah, John just got a tad loose there off the corner, and Schlosser was able to make good work of it. Boy, this group right around the top 10 that you've been watching, they are stacked up big time here.
Zittel just got past Cole Maxwell, who I keep thinking is Zach Lockett. Tennessee Titan colors on the 69. Maxwell staying on the top side, and Ryan Dye wants to go. He was 4th fastest in practice, but he has been stuck up top here. He cannot get around Maxwell and can't get to the bottom. He'll have Dan Miglin and Jeremy McKinnon now to deal with. Peterson is super loose.
McKinnon going to fill it in the middle as well. Peterson going to lose a couple spots there. Oh, and he's still loose.
Oh, boy. There's Miglin. 3 wide.
Yeah, and he backs out of it. He did not want to be 3 wide there. He still rolls the corner well, though. Oh, Miglin up the racetrack just a bit. No contact.
Dye finally clear, able to get to the bottom. Meanwhile, ahead of them, it's Palumbo moving forward now. Hayden Palumbo getting past Rodney Matney around the outside to take 6th. 1 second advantage for Engrav over Van Leer up front.
Matney had struggled on the top to begin this run, decided to migrate to the bottom, but has now gone backwards a few positions.
And of course, one Daytona had an awfully quiet Charlotte race going outside of the top 10 until he got taken out with just a few laps to go.
Oh, Dye and Maxwell side by side. Maxwell tagged the wall a little bit there.
That is for 11th. Dye looking a little uneasy on the bottom, but yeah, Maxwell up into the wall there at a turn number 2.
Go ahead and take this opportunity. Well, we got one battle up in front. Well, oh, wow.
Oh, boy. It's Ellison and Palumbo.
Palumbo, big wiggle, and then up the racetrack here into turn number 3. Ellison's going to get by.
Ryan Dye's completed the move on Cole Maxwell to get up to 11th now. He'll set his sights on Jeremy McKinnon.
Rodney Matney being really aggressive on entry into the corners, but losing it on the exit.
Maxwell gets shuffled up top. He'll lose 2 more spots to Peterson, and now Dan Miglin as well. And Chad Stearns has worked his way into the top 15 now. We'll keep an eye on his progress.
Whoa, big problem! Stearns nearly got into Miglin, and I think Cole Maxwell got together there, and Miglin has lost all his momentum. He's going to lose a bunch of positions.
They are nearly 4 wide there, as there's one in the grass. It's Leo Smith who's making his debut tonight, and he's got a meatball flag. Leo 5 and 31, by the way, are teammates. Stearns, a previous winner here back in season 4.
Wasn't much Stearns could do about that one. Miglin and Maxwell had gotten together, and Miglin was on a slide down the racetrack, and Stearns thought he was going to catch it, just kept going lower and lower until he ran out of real estate.
Paul Olsen had an outside chance, but a good look at a win here last time we were here in season 6, and he continues to move forward here. He's applying the pressure here to the 98 of Tyler Logan to snake into the top 5.
And Paul Ellison is running a camera for us here tonight, so let's go ahead and go car inside for the first time here at Richmond. And we are going to be car inside with the 55 of Paul Ellison.
Papa Paul, one of many drivers to get their best finish of the season last week at Charlotte's. P6, where he runs right now.
And for any drivers that are wondering how to run an in-car camera, even if you don't have a webcam and the caution is out.
I think that was Cole Maxwell. Yes, he is turned around backwards on the back straightaway. And I believe Josh Modacek is as well. So that is caution number 3.
It never fails.
Well, that's unfortunate for Cole, who had a great qualifying run, but he was starting to drop back through the field.
Yeah, and he had gotten into the wall once for sure, and then him and Miglin got together another time, so might have had a little damage to the truck here as well. Let's take a look back at the replay. I think he's probably going to get loose. Yeah, he gets loose on his own, comes down into Modacek. Man, Holyfield takes a pretty darn good shot there as well. Everybody else, Josh Freed did a really good job of avoiding that one. Oh! Josh Jackson, not so fortunate. And let's go ahead and take another look at it. I want to go to the cockpit of Cole just to see what that wheel input looks like here when you start getting loose off the corner. You can feel it slide, and he's trying to turn to the right. Doesn't want to get out of the throttle because he knows that 2 people have been run over already from that same very instance, but unfortunately he's going to slide down into Modacek here.
The 3rd race in a row that Modacek has kind of been caught up in something of his own, not of his own doing. At least at Daytona he rallied for a good finish. Still possible here. There's a few drivers down pit road. 3 of the 4 Broke Guy Racing teammates are down. McKinnon, Vroman, and Marieth. Also Kenneth Graves, of course, Cole Maxwell, and Luke Peterson also down pit road.
Vroman may still be trying to fix some of the damage he sustained from his incident.
Certainly.
He's been down pit road a couple of times here, and looks like that right rear of the truck's still pretty beat up. Right front still got a little damage too, so I think he's probably trying to get some of that optional fix still.
Caution number 3 on lap 33, make it 34 at the stripe. Hunter Engrav has led them all. Jan had fallen to outside of a second of the race leader. before that caution came out. Things were starting to get a little bit spread out for the top 4. Logan was about to have his hands full with Paul Ellison, and now Will here on the caution, or rather on the restart. Anyway.
I want to point out one thing here. We're going to go back to Paul Ellison's camera here. You see that it's vertical. That's because Paul sometimes uses his phone as the camera source for the car inside camera. So even if the driver is watching this back, even if you don't have a webcam or don't have a DSLR that you can attach as a webcam or anything like that, you can use your cell phone. Paul is using a cell phone vertical mode. If you don't know how to do that or missed it in the announcements earlier this season, I'll post the link and give some directions again next week. Maybe we can get some more in here. We've only had a few the last couple of weeks. Would love to have anybody else that would like to put their camera up so we can watch you as you're driving around the racetrack.
Leo Smith had a meatball flag there under the green. It didn't bring out a caution, but his debut has not gone the way that he had hoped. The true international driver of the field, even though we have a couple of Canadians. Leo racing upside down right now in Australia. Here we go. Coming to lap 36. It's Engrav and Van Leer still the top 2. Schlosser and Kay. Schlosser there in third. Did not get a great start there behind Jan. And that will allow John Kay to immediately launch a challenge here for second.
And rolls the corner really nicely. Great run off the top side as well.
John Kay to second. Probably not who Hunter Engrav wants to see behind him. Saw a lot of the 2 in his mirrors last week, that's for sure. Ryan Dye gets past Kyle Zittel. Now Zittel fighting back. That's for 9th. And there's Chad Stearns in 11th after starting in 30th place.
Didn't take him long, did it?
It sure didn't. Palumbo,
not that we
Matt
expected
Mee,
it to.
No, not really. Got his first career Venom Truck Series victory here back in Season 4. Has picked up another 5 since then.
Got quite a bit of
Zittel turns by. Can Ryan save it? No. Oh, Lord. That was not good. Zittel pretty hard there into the back of Ryan Dye. That takes Chad Stearns out as well. And Ryan Dye, I don't know how we still have a job, because we are not good luck for Ryan Dye.
We've talked about it on the channel a couple of times in the last week. We certainly are not good luck. He had I didn't realize how dominant his Season 4 championship run was until just this week. And we came in Season 5, and he hasn't been able to put anything like that together. And I would imagine it's just us at this point.
Zittel and Dye are out of this race. Chad Stearns is in a world of hurt with some front-end damage. Let's take a look at how it transpired.
Well, we're coming off of the corner here. Matney's underneath and gets pretty loose. Dye has a great run, so he's going to try and shoot the gap, but ends up not going all the way to the bottom. I think Kyle thought Ryan was going to dive down to the bottom underneath of Rodney. So Kyle moved up the racetrack and was going to send it into the second lane, but Dye ended up sticking right behind the 83. And Zittel was not slowing down. Gave Dye a good shot. And then Ryan just had way too much speed down into the bottom end of the corner. Washed right up the racetrack. Kyle Zittel's going to get hit by somebody else here, too. Is that Rob? I can't tell who that is. It is.
I missed it.
That is Rob Williams that got into Kyle on the top side as well. Take one more look at it here. I take a couple looks at it. We're going to go in-car camera or cockpit view here for Ryan. As they're coming off the corner, he's going to get this great run on Rodney. Feels like he can dive to the bottom with Rodney sliding up. And then Rodney makes a move to the bottom, decides against it, and then obviously gets tagged there. Let's go ahead and look from Kyle's point of view as well. Sees Ryan pull down, thinks he's going to dive to the bottom, and just doesn't. That was just a tricky, hairy little situation, and just that one just did not work out, obviously.
You know what that is? Do I even need to say it? It's short track racing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that's a little dicey.
No, not today. Not feeling it. Well, regardless, Dye and Zittel are on pit roads. Rob Williams came in to get some damage fixed. Darby Marriott has been on and off pit road. Gary Clark and Steve Roman also have made pit stops under this caution period. It's still Hunter Engrav, and now John Kay he'll have to contend with. Hello to AP Lewis in the chat. Season's been pretty interesting thus far with these brand new trucks, and this race is similarly interesting here. 4 cautions in on lap 43. This field gets ready to go racing once again. Just to point out, Chad Stearns with the front end damage there did not come down pit road. He is still inside the top 10 now. And grab fires were underway. Here's Schlosser now, challenging John Kay already for second. It pays to be behind the leader, and Engrav seems to like the top.
John trying to fight back. Schlosser rolling that topside really well and able to get the big run.
Okay, a little loose.
Still sticking around here.
Trying to hang on the inside. Logan and Ellison are side by side behind them. But Schlosser gets to P2.
Ooh. Schlosser looked like he got up into the wall a little bit there as well.
I think so. Ellison trying to get this move done here on the outside.
Seems like on the restarts, the outside, as long as you can roll through the middle of the corner decently, that's a good place to be. I don't know if this is intentional, but Ellison's 55 looks a lot like the, what is it, Build Submarines, number 6 and number 17. That
kind of does, doesn't it?
I don't know if that's what it was supposed to be, but that's what it reminds me of. Looks pretty cool.
Maybe he's a Chris Buescher fan. Sorry, Kyle.
Ellison still fighting with Logan here. Now Rodney Matney kind of getting himself into the mix.
Oh, Zach Lockett has had a problem from 15th. He's dropped outside of the top 20, and now he gets turned. Big problems. No caution.
I think it might... no, it's not going to come out.
Wow. So, Jordan Journeau, after Lockett had already had problems, Jordan Journeau gets turned off the outside wall down into Lockett. That is just some horrendous timing on Lockett's part. And we stay green. Journeau down pit road. Engrav leading, Schlosser in second. John Kay, Jan Van Leer, and Paul Ellison the top 5 as Rodney Matney trying to slot back into line. Cuts off the 54 of Palumbo. And Palumbo and Chad Stearns crossing paths here for the first time at Richmond today.
Yeah, well, all that was happening, Ellison was able to get around Logan on the top side. And Matney has come to life a little bit. Wonder if he's been saving his tires throughout the beginning of the run.
Zach Lockett now pitting as Dan Miglin shoots a move to the inside of his teammate Chad Stearns. And that is for spot number 9. And Miglin gets clear. Oh, he's super loose though.
Oh,
Miglin
McKinnon!
was Jeremy. Oh,
I think McKinnon might be on new tires here as well.
he did pit.
He did come down pit road. I don't know if it was just for fuel because we didn't run that many green flag laps up to lap 31 when he came down pit road. But wow, look at this
Whoa,
close quarters.
boy.
Miglin had to back way out of it not to get into the back of Matney.
And Miglin was the short track guy in Truck 200. That was where he made a lot of his points. So he likes these tight confines. Ran really well in Bristol, got a podium finish there. And he and Jeremy McKinnon, oddly enough, probably the two most aggressive drivers in the field, and they keep finding themselves side by side. Oh,
Now
Paul Ellison has crashed! Ellison into the outside wall from 5th.
And that might be it. That was a hard hit.
I think he must be having hardware issues. Because that car stopped accelerating and turning and just went straight into the outside wall. And he had that problem there on the pace lap as well. That sucks, to be quite frank. Still green.
Top 4 have pulled away from the rest of the field. Logan, McKinnon, and Matney are still battling it out here for the top 5. Oh, Logan really loose here. I don't know if he got a bumper from McKinnon there or not, but it was close.
Jeremy looking underneath to try and sneak into the top 5.
And if he does have new tires, this should be a fairly easy pass on the bottom, I would believe.
He'll do it. Nicely done for McKinnon, who's 4th in the points coming into tonight. Still says he's running part-time this season, so maybe just pulling a Mark Martin and going to be 3rd in the points before he misses some races. Ellison is back off of pit road. He's cleared his meatball flag. The report is that his VR headset went out.
Wow.
That is, yep, that is unfortunate. That's more than unfortunate, actually.
Yeah, and I wonder if he's still having problems because he still has it on. Maybe the truck's just too damaged.
I mean, that was a hard shot there to the
That was
outside
a
wall.
very hard shot.
Right where the concrete meets the safer barrier there. Right where it juts out on corner exit. Oh, caution,
caution's
trouble.
out.
That's Cole Maxwell around right in front of the race leaders. And he has picked up a meatball flag now. So what has started off as a good race for Cole Maxwell has suddenly turned into a bit of a nightmare.
Well, we have a lot of things to go look at here. We had a couple of incidents that did not bring out the yellow. Let's go ahead and look at the first one. This is what happened to Lockett. And you see Lockett got down onto the apron here. He just got really loose on entry. Don't see the loose on entry a whole lot. Got himself down on the apron. Oh, and then Jorno just loose on his own there. There's no contact. Very similar to what we saw with an incident earlier in the race, but that's an even harder shot. Both of them took pretty good licks there into the inside wall.
What a terrible coincidence.
Yeah, that really stinks. You make a mistake, but you're able to save it, think that you're going to be okay, and then you're not. it's just unfortunate. And there's actually no crash ID for Paul, so let's go ahead and go to Cole's, and then I'll try and find Paul's in the passes here. There's Cole, man. You can see him. Oh, wow. he was well down the straightaway when he was losing control of it. You can see him get really loose off the exit here, off of 2, and he kind of comes back to the right and then tries to go back to the left for corner entry and just never got the truck stable underneath of him. We'll go ahead and go to your live shot here. I'll see if I can find Paul's incident.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Several drivers down pit road, including John Kay from 3rd. He brings Matney, Palumbo, Miglin, and Stearns with him from the top 10. Josh Freed in 11th as well. Rainey, Breeding, Corey Rutherford, Holyfield, Jackson, Motocek, Samard, Williams, Graves, and Marriott, all down pit road.
Still might have some time. Here's what's deemed a pass on Ellison. Let's see if this is the incident. And it surely is. You see Paul just straight up there into the wall. And VR must have come back at some point at a decent spot here because he was actually able to stay on the top side instead of coming back down the racetrack. Really could have been a much worse incident in all honesty. Man, that's unfortunate to have headset problems here.
Yeah. There's not very many tracks with tighter confines than this.
By the way, Ryan Dye was running a camera for us. We didn't really get to take a look at it. But he was sporting a very special t-shirt for us today, Tommy.
Yes, he is, and I forgot what it was.
The Alpha Academy.
Thank you.
Rockin' Alpha Academy in memoriam of Chad Gable. I almost said Chad Stearns. Of Chad Gable.
Well, he's off believing in Joe Hendry at this point, I'm sure. Not a great restart here on the outside line. Luke Peterson checks everybody up. But Hunter Engraff with a nice getaway. It's Stearns now. McKinnon trying to rock it around the outside on fresher tires than the top 2.
McKinnon on fresher tires, but he's still run a lot of laps here.
Not the freshest tires, as several drivers have pit. John Kay in 9th right now, or rather in 7th on the freshest tires.
And they're stacked up in front of him. Even if he could go somewhere right now, there's really nowhere to go, but probably struggling on cold tires a little bit here early on. He's going to need to let him come in before he starts really getting after it.
Oh, boy, Rodney Matney just had to roll out of it. He found himself 4 wide there trying to make a move on Gary Clark.
Wow, Jan Van Leer up the racetrack a little bit. Peterson trying to get a good run off the top, but they are stacked up big time.
Yes, they are. Palumbo up the track and sideways in front of Dan Miglin. Rodney Matney says, somebody let all the air out of my back tires.
John got to the outside of Peterson here.
Nice move.
Really needed to make that happen. And then a huge dive down underneath of Jan Van Leer. That is exactly what he needed to do. If he stayed behind those guys, the fresh tires would make no difference here in his race. But now
they put a chicane in at Richmond.
This is the Richmond TT track. It's got a right-hand turn.
As long as they don't put a jump in here, I think we're okay.
I mean, that whole group is still in an absolute dogfight right now. Jan Van Leer, Palumbo, Miglin, Peterson. Josh Freed is up here now as well. He has worked forward pretty quietly.
And John Kay, just as quickly as that, is picked off 3rd. He's closing in on McKinnon now for 2nd.
This is a great time to go car inside with John Kay as he is working forward quickly here on those fresh tires.
Rockin' and rolling. All-State John Kay underneath McKinnon for second.
That set of Goodyears is in good hands here with the two, but just about got up into McKinnon.
Oh, McKinnon got awfully squiggly on his outside. John into solo second now, going for the lead.
And it should be no contest here.
Dan Miglin is also picking his way up through the field here. He's just outside of the top 5, battling with Jan Van Leer.
I mean, John Kay had to make a very aggressive move to get himself out of traffic, and it has paid off in droves here.
John Kay, P1. Engrav back to second, McKinnon in third. Here's Hayden Palumbo on a similar charge in fourth. Schlosser in fifth, Dan Miglin sixth, Josh Freed, Jan Van Leer, Luke Peterson, Eric Breeding into the top 10 for the first time tonight.
Got to be honest, pretty surprised that not everybody came down pit road that last time around. Of course, other than the folks that came down for tires on lap 31, I can see why they stayed out. But for Engrav to not come down and take tires was pretty surprising, but maybe feels like with the cautions we've had tonight, needs an extra set at the end of the race just in case they get a caution with like 10 laps left and he has a set left. Maybe some others won't.
Two champs in the chat. Nathan Reynolds is here. He's got 8 drivers to cheer for. Only one for JJ Wang to root for, though, as Dan Miglin is up now into the 5th position. Here's Palumbo underneath McKinnon to take third. And he'll go right to work on his top rookie adversary, Hunter Engrav. Palumbo will have a big run here into one, and he'll look to the inside.
Should be able to make him stick there on the bottom. Yeah, such a huge tire advantage. You're going to get through easily on Engrav. Palumbo up to second.
This is a great rookie class, and they are showing out once again here at Richmond. Engrav back to third as Palumbo's up to second. Miglin's in fifth. Freed is in seventh. 3 of those 4 are in the top 5 in the points.
And there comes Miglin up underneath of McKinnon. Remember, McKinnon, he is one of those drivers that did come down on lap 31 for tires, so he's not on his original set like Engrav is, but still much older than those drivers going around him. Here, Miglin, Palumbo, Kay, all just came down pit road on lap 60.
Freed working on Schlosser here to get 6th outright. He had it at the line, but can't quite get clear of the 4. John Kay leading by a little over 2 seconds over Palumbo.
Freed able to get through that time. Down through turns 3 and 4. Miglin has not been able to pick off Hunter Engrav. Had a decent opportunity, but couldn't make it happen.
Still a lot of shuffling outside of the top 10 as Jan Van Leer is hanging on to the top 10 bubble. Corey Rutherford is on the march forward.
Yeah, look at Corey Rutherford. He is using the very top lane and making good work of it.
Nicely done for the 50. Into the top 10.
And while that was happening, you can kind of see it forward at the top of your screen. Miglin did get underneath of Engrav to move up to third.
Rookies 2, 3, 4, 6, and 16 with Motocek.
Haven't talked about Eric Breeding at all tonight. He came down and got tires on lap 60, and he is marching forward as well. He is up to 8th place.
Really haven't talked about it at all this season. I believe he got swept up in an accident, or at least caught a piece of that big one at Charlotte last week in the race that he sponsored, and got wiped out running near the front at Daytona as well. Best finish this season is 17th at the season opener. So it's great to have the 26 in the top 10 here. John Kay leading. he is still out-timing Hayden Palumbo, who's back in second. This rookie of the season battle, which is going to bleed over into the championship. Palumbo, of course, being touted by Nathan Reynolds amongst others, has given him a pretty good shot, but we have the Hunter Engrav's home field advantage with him having run so many races on turn 200 already. But it's good to see Palumbo show it out here after taking the pole at Daytona. Ended up with a top 10 finish there. Recovered from 2 and 11th place finish after getting turned early in the race, and it didn't bring out a caution. So Palumbo rallied to just outside of the top 10 last week.
More movement here outside of the top 10. Jan Van Leer has started going backwards, but he is still on his original set of tires. So should we get a lot of cautions to come out later on in this race, he might be sitting in a good position, but needs a little help. Meanwhile, Breeding has finally gotten underneath of Schlosser. He's trying to move forward. Corey Rutherford's still on this great march.
Yeah, what a helpless feeling for Engrav, McKinnon, Schlosser, Jan Van Leer as well, Rodney Matney. All those drivers that were inside and right around the top 5 on this restart, and they are just free-falling through the field here. Oh, got one off in the grass down the front stretch. I believe it's Darby Marriott, but he keeps it in motion. Will stay green.
Josh Freed around the outside of Engrav here. Not quite clear, but should be down through turns 1 and 2, and does. Breeding clear of Schlosser, now going to work on McKinnon. Big wiggle there out of the 4.
Yeah, no kidding. Get Rainey into the top 10.
Schlosser's working all of the lanes right now, just trying to keep up on the older rubber.
Stick, yeah. Oh, no!
Wow.
Save it.
Yep, good save by the 4, but he's going to lose those positions he was fighting to keep.
Yikes.
Still trying to fight on the inside here. Whoa, Matney really wants out the outside of him as well.
God, Garrett Rainey is the meat in an old tire sandwich right now. I'm sure he doesn't want any part of it.
Corey Rutherford, a huge move down to the bottom.
John Kay got tangled up with some lap traffic. He has lost quite a bit of time, but still has a 2-second advantage over Palumbo, his satellite teammate.
This is getting really wild here.
These guys are just going every which way.
This looks like C fixed, but they're not hitting each other.
Not yet. As we get to about the 40 or 50 lap mark on these older tires, or I guess another 30 or 20 or 30 laps on the drivers with older tires, then we'll really see what everybody's got.
Well, you would have to be coming down pit road pretty soon.
You would hope.
For those that are, especially for those that literally have not taken any tires at all. Haven't taken any pit stops here. Wow.
We're trying to make up ground here. He took it to the outside. Matney took it to the bottom.
Oh no! Contact with McKinnon! Good save from McKinnon.
Good Lord.
Whew, boy, that could have gotten ugly.
The 50 better jet after that one. Jan Van Leer is pitting this time. He has fallen all the way down to 15th. He'll come in to get some fresh rubber. You called it. It's time.
Yeah, I think Jan was hoping for a caution to come out, and he's just about gotten one a couple times, but the drivers have made some great saves here.
Now, you don't want to be the caution here, that's for sure. with these fresher tires, it's going to take a few laps. And you're going to have people probably still flying by you, even on the older rubber, until you can get them underneath you. Hayden Palumbo is closing in, by the way. It's a second and a half now. He was 4/10 quicker this last time around.
Yeah, I haven't talked about John Kay too much being out front here, but has opened up a pretty good gap. But you're right, Palumbo has caught him rather quickly. Much closer lap times that time around. Actually, Kay was a 10th faster. Kay must have had a big moment there that previous lap somewhere.
Tyler Logan is pit. He kind of hit the pit road entry wall on his way in, but he pits from 18th, so he had fallen quite a few spots as well.
Breeding moved forward quickly, but has stalled out behind Hunter Engrav. Meanwhile, Corey Rutherford has continued to march. He has pulled right up to the back of the 26.
Schlosser and McKinnon made contact again. Schlosser had to track it a bit to save it. But they continue to battle side by side because of course they do.
Well, for Engrav and Schlosser, those are the only two left on their original set of tires and the original tank of gas. I'm not sure they can go much longer on fuel. I think they're actually going to a fuel number here.
Yeah, we're closing in on about the lap that we thought they were going to need to pit. Again, with 4 cautions in the mix there, but still. Here goes Breeding on Engrav now.
Washing up a little bit. Still plenty of room, though. Good work from those two.
Matt's still hanging in here.
Yeah, Breeding finally able to get through.
So move Breeding to P6.
And
by the way, John Kay has started to pull away from Hayden Palumbo once again.
Oh
gosh.
Breeding
That's
mistake there into... Oh, no. Now Breeding's going to have to do it all over again. He might get lucky here. Matney not quite clear of Engrav. Might be able to slot in behind Matney, but all that work that Eric did just to lose 2 spots, that does not feel good as a driver.
Rob Williams is going to pit this time for Team 200.
Brian Kay in the chat cheering on John, and you're right. John may have been tire saving a little bit here as well. He had a really big lead, so probably felt like he could get into the corners a little bit easier, save some of that tire for later on here in the run.
Yeah, it was over 2.5 seconds. It got to under 1.5 there for a brief moment, but now it's back to 1.8. And he's had some lap traffic to deal with. Still waiting on the huge influx of pit stops here. It's only been Jan Van Leer, Tyler Logan, and Rob Williams up to this point under green. Leo Smith has also retired his car. So he joins Ryan Dye and Kyle Zittel and Cole Maxwell as the retirees of the race thus far. 19 drivers on the lead lap right now. Kenneth Graves will be the next one to fall a lap down here.
Look at this, Tommy. After all of this, Matney was underneath of Engrav, but still was not able to get through. Engrav has played incredible defense on the original tires from the start of the race, working the middle to the top lane, just using the momentum, and Matney has not been able to get through.
It'll be interesting to see what the strategy is now from the drivers who have pit under the caution.
I mean, I would assume they went 60 laps with quite a few cautions in there as well, of course. I would assume they're probably going to try to make it to lap 130. Maybe 120. Between 120 and 130 would be my guess. But they could stretch it longer if they wanted to. I mean, that's definitely a possibility.
Zach Lockett is in. Another driver that's been on and off pit road after his incident. Rainey and Stearns battling for 9th, while Engrav, Matney, and Eric Breeding still battling ahead of them.
Stearns is probably going to be up with this group here before too long.
And here comes Jan Van Leer again on the fresher tires. This is the group that he pit from, but he has flown back up on him with fresh rubber. Paul Ellison down pit road, 9 laps down.
Jan able to get through on the bottom fairly cleanly there. Now has the triangle formation he's going to try and have to navigate. And it's going to be a tough one.
Josh Jackson from 18th down pit road.
I thought he was going to try and shoot the middle there for a moment.
Maybe he did too.
Wants to use the top side to rail around, but Breeding is there, getting held up a bit. Now he's going to take it up the middle.
Manny got loose there, so that will give Breeding that spot again. And Eric will try and find a way back around Hunter Engrav. Lead is back up over 2 seconds now. John Kay doing a nice job out front. Palumbo in second. Dan Miglin in third. Josh Freed, Corey Rutherford, the top 5.
Can't believe Engrav and Schlosser have been able to make it this far. They have to be coming down pit road soon. Oh, wow.
Boy. That was close.
I don't know how Engrav was able to keep it out of the wall, but there's definitely contact between the 28 and the 26.
Well, if Engrav hit the wall, then Breeding was going to nose into the wall there. And Breeding will get clear again. Here's Matty with a huge surge to the inside.
I think Engrav just wanted to let Breeding go there, and Matty was able to get a huge run as well.
So Breeding to P6. Engrav now under fire from Matney and Stearns.
Here comes McKinnon down pit road.
Jeremy McKinnon. These guys will have to contend with Josh Jackson and Rob Williams, who are both flying up here on fresher tires. 7 truck looks a little worse for wear there on the nose. Looks like he hit a pole in the parking lot.
Yeah, he was caught up in one of the incidents a little bit earlier. Somebody went around in front of him. He was, I guess you could call it benefactor, but the opposite of a benefactor, I guess, of an incident.
Good to see Josh back after missing last week at Charlotte. Raging Moose racing down the 49 of Paul Sargent tonight. Still awaiting the return of Kevin Sargent as well. But Matney and Jackson are here.
So Stearns has gotten through Engrav as well. Engrav seems to really be hurting now. He was able to hang on in the top 5 there for a long, long time on the older tires.
He's pitting now. Able to keep it below pit road speed. Pretty good entry for the 28. We'll see where this shakes him out. Darby Marriott is back in the grass down the front stretch. Still hangs on to it and will stay green.
Steve Roman trying to work forward after the early, pretty big shot to the inside wall. He's working behind Luke Peterson. Both of them just about on the same rubber. Roman did come in about 8 laps later than Peterson, but at this point, that's it's probably not going to help you a whole lot. Lead for John Kay nearly up to 3 seconds now.
And Dan Miglin in third, running quicker lap times than both of the top 2. Fastest driver on the track right now is Corey Rutherford, at least of those that have yet to pit. under this green flag cycle.
Vroman still not able to make it happen. Peterson doing a great job there up on the top side. The other battle that has been happening for pretty much this entire run is Eric Breeding and Rodney Matney. But Matney just about washed up into the 26, had to back way out of it.
Yeah, this is Josh Jackson on fresher tires trying to get around. Purple lap for Hunter Engrav on his second out lap. 23:017. A wicked fast lap.
Peterson and Vroman still side by side. Vroman just not quite able to hold the line there on the bottom to get good drive off. Now his teammate Jeremy McKinnon on fresh tires is coming up and brings along Hunter Engrav.
Yeah, Engrav is flying right now.
Getting caught up in this traffic a little bit though. Woo! Peterson looked loose all the way through those two corners.
All right, here we go. Corey Rutherford from fifth place down pit road. And he had been quicker than all of the top five. So he elects to trigger the undercut here. Had some ground to make up to catch Freed and Miglin for sure, but was going quicker.
JJ Wang in the chat, still cheering on Dan, and yes, Miglin still hanging on to a podium position right now. Looking great here.
He runs great on these short tracks. He really does.
Whoa, there's some sheet metal flying.
That was Motocek.
Jackson.
Oh, Jackson.
Jackson very slow here on the apron.
He'll be coming to pit road. Darby Marriott is down pit road. As Vroman and Peterson now battling for 11th.
Steve just cannot clear underneath. Might be able to do it here, though. And finally, he's able to slide up in front of the 38. That only took about 35 laps to be able to get that one done.
Engrav's still making a plow out of Jeremy McKinnon here. He saddled him up and rode him all the way through. The 26 of Eric Breeding, who runs now in the 5th position. Pit road exit violation for Darby Marriott will bring him back down pit road. As for the lead, or rather for third of the drivers that have pit already, Engrav looking to get around McKinnon. Outright, that is the 17th position.
Here comes Matt Schlosser down pit road.
Oh no, Steve Vroman has crashed into Corey Rutherford, and the caution is out just as Matt Schlosser hit pit road. Rutherford on fresh tires there, trying to cycle out to a position potentially in the top 5. And that has been bottled, and this race has been absolutely turned on its head as some of the heavy hitters are trapped one lap down, including McKinnon and Engrav. I mean, huge caution here for the 5th time tonight after a long green flag run.
Yeah, this is going to shake things up. It's perfect for John Kay, who probably was wanting to come down pit road at some point in the next 10 to 20 laps anyways. He's going to get the opportunity to. Here is a look at the incident. You see Rutherford on the outside with a huge run, but nowhere to go because Kenneth Graves was on the bottom. Vroman was on the top, and Rutherford was going to try and absolutely send it into the top side. And Vroman was having to slow down on older tires to make his corner entry, and Rutherford just plows right into the back of him.
And Corey did take responsibility for that, by the way. He's very much said it was my fault, and apologies to Vroman.
Well, I'm sure Rutherford didn't want to get caught in traffic. Sometimes you have to make aggressive moves to be able to get through the lap traffic and make the most of your tires. We saw John Kay make an aggressive move earlier that ultimately got him out to the lead. That's just what you have to do.
Well, the irony of that is that Steve Roman would have been in position to pick up the lucky dog, I do believe. But that did not happen. What horrendous timing for Matt Schlosser, who was literally crossing the line as the caution came out. And he now has to take the wave around. He will have fresher tires than Engrav and McKinnon, but will be starting all the way back at the very tippy tail of this field in 17th. 17th position-wise, but track position-wise, the last driver on the track.
For those drivers that came down pit road on lap 60 and had not come down again yet, it played right into their hands.
They look like absolute geniuses right now. John Kay with the pump fake onto pit road brings Palumbo, Miglin, Freed with him. Eric Breeding as well. I mean,
the top
huge.
12 here. Yeah, the top 12 here all came down pit road this last time around.
It was Jan Van Leer that. Yes, top 13, you're right.
Yeah, top 13, Jan did as well.
Jan got the lucky dog, came in on the second lap there, now on to drop to the current tail of the field, but the wave around drivers will be Tyler Logan, Jeremy McKinnon, Hunter Engrav, and Matt Schlosser, and those drivers 14th to 17th will get to make an extra trip around here. Without having to pit, they're on older tires now compared to the drivers in front of them, but they could still shake things up strategy-wise. We got a little under 60 laps to go, but a lot of things are going to need to go right for those drivers. John Kay is taking the top, where Engrav was able to eat on a couple of the earlier restarts.
Remember here, Tommy, that at the beginning of the race, on fresh tires, cold tires to start, everybody struggled, and you line everybody up double file here on fresh tires in the top 12. It might get ugly again.
Very possible. Kay and Palumbo leading the way. Freed and Miglin behind them. Back underway. Lap 135 of 190. Kay with the early advantage. Single file through the top four. Freed into a podium position.
Breeding and Stearns, the first side-by-side battle. And then Matney, Garrett Rainey on the outside there in the 13. Great run from Garrett here so far tonight.
Just as soon as Garrett appeared at the front of the field at Daytona, his race was over. As well, Matney has to make a huge save.
Didn't lose a ton of time there either, but Rainey is able to get a nose out in front on the top. Oh, and he made a mistake on entry. Caution's out.
Caution is out. Joshua Motacek has crashed in turn number 2. And still,
Gary Clark absolutely blasted Motacek and put him right in front of Kenneth Graves' lap.
Yeah, Gary's going to get an ARCA braking penalty for that, even though Motacek was blinking. Maybe he didn't realize that he was still on the track right there. But, yeah, that was not great.
Let's take a look at the replay. Really nobody around Motacek here. I have a feeling it might have been single car incident. Oh, yeah. Just cranks it to the left on entry. We've seen that a couple times now. Most of the incidents at the beginning of this race were folks getting loose off of the corners. And we've had a couple of incidents where they've gotten loose into the corners now. Motacek Oh, and he almost had it saved, but just makes a little overcorrection. And he pays the price dearly for it. Well, Tommy Hunter and Grab down pit road to get tires here.
And Tyler Logan as well. They were two of the 4 drivers that stayed out to get that wave around. If that went green for a long while, those two were going to be hosed. There's no doubt about it. But now they at least have a fighting chance. They'll line up in their correct positions inside the top 15 with marginally fresher tires than the drivers in front of them.
Got to give some car inside love here to John Kay. He's been out front for a long time here tonight, since about lap 66, 67, somewhere around there. He took the lead and has been in that lead ever since. He's got to feel confident here. He likes a short track. He's on the same strategy as pretty much everybody behind him. And he's got the speed.
Yeah, a few short track victories to his credit here in the Venom Truck Series. Of his 7 wins here in Venom, 3 of them have been on tracks a mile or shorter in length, including North Wilkesboro and New Hampshire, and here in Richmond. So not including. Those are the 3 tracks. I was just seeing if I could remember. I don't want to jinx this, but it's locked and loaded now, so we might as well just finish it off. Josh Freed has been lights out this season. I mean, we knew a little bit about Hayden Palumbo. Obviously, we know a lot about Hunter Engrav. Absolutely nothing about Josh Freed. Never talked to him, not even in the recruitment races. But he has run exceedingly well this season. And right there with Palumbo and Engrav in the point standings coming into tonight, knocking on the door of what would be a first career podium after taking a top 5 last week at Charlotte, being one of the highest point scorers at Daytona despite finishing outside of the top 10. Freed making some noise here. So hopefully he can stay the course and finish on the podium. But Dan Miglin is a short track ace, and he is now in a great position to snag a potential first career podium, likewise with the Venom Truck Series. Palumbo in second, Kay with the lead, Freed, Miglin, Breeding, and Stearns your top 6. Chad Stearns nearing the top 5 for the first time tonight. Back underway, lap 143. Palumbo in second, Miglin using the top side momentum here, and he will take third from the 39.
Palumbo, big move to cover off Dan Miglin there on the bottom, but Miglin's got a good run.
He wiggles it up the track. Miglin wiggles it down the track. And 31's got a peek at second place here. Oh boy! Nearly door-to-door contact out of 2. Palumbo now working the top side and will hang on to second.
And those two battling just allows John Kay a little bit of breathing room here.
Hunter Engrav already up to 14th as Schlosser and McKinnon battle ahead of him. I'm sure Kay's just saying battle away, boys.
And they are. Miglin's still fighting back here. We're doing a really nice job running the bottom.
Miglin does not know how not to drive aggressive. Sometimes to his own detriment, but not on these short tracks. Man, he knows exactly what he's doing here.
That is absolutely
and does
true.
It well.
Motocek slow here on the bottom. Going to try and stay out of the way of everybody else, but Miglin is clear to second.
And Breeding is up to 4th. Josh Freed is now back to the 5th position and has Chad Stearns to contend with. That was close.
That was very close.
So Freed started to roll backwards a bit and rolls up into the 05. Now in the middle of 3 wide.
It's a John Deere sandwich. And the Deere is moving back a couple of positions.
That's venison.
Whoa. Freed slides down in front of Jan Van Leer. There was not much room to make that one.
3/4 of a second from Miglin up to Kay for the lead. Kay still turning quicker lap times here. As Peterson and Freed and Chad Stearns all right here. Jan Van Leer back into the mix now as well.
Top 3 just about equidistant from each other, and then a little bit longer from Palumbo back to Breeding in 4th. It's over a second gap from 3rd to 4th here.
Oh,
Look at
trouble.
Matt Schlosser. And the caution's
Gary-
out.
Gary Clark has crashed in turn number 3 just as that battle was heating up there.
Schlosser was about to take a peek at 3 wide. That was about to get very interesting. Well,
say
this
Gary-
is an awkward spot for a caution to come out.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at the replay here.
I think Gary missed his breaking point.
I'm guessing that means by a lot, the way you said it. Oh, yeah, he missed it. And I think that was Rob Williams that he got into there in the 19, but Rob able to make the save, keep it rolling.
He racked up a repair bill for us. What's a quarter panel brace running these days?
Well, luckily here it's free.
2 drivers on the lead lap pitting. It's Rainey and McKinnon. Interestingly enough, Rainey was in with the entire field when the caution came out a couple of times ago. McKinnon had to stay out for the wave round. So he's now the 3rd of those 4 drivers to come in and get tires. Matt Schlosser, the last holdout there.
Was curious if anybody on the lead lap would come down. We've run about 15 green flag laps, probably. Maybe a little more, maybe 18 green flag laps on that set of tires for those 2. The problem is, I think that's the last set. So it's kind of an awkward position. You got to hope that it's going to go green from here on out. Otherwise, you get another caution that comes out in 20 or so laps, and everybody else takes tires. You're going to be at a pretty good disadvantage, probably. But we've seen some of the drivers be able to make these tires last a very, very long time.
And Graham and Matney in particular made them last a good while. Pretty convincing. You know who else looked convincing there was Dan Miglin. Right as the caution had come out, he turned 2 laps in a row that were faster than John Kay's. But the downside here is that we've yet to see the second place driver get even a halfway good restart. Like you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, this restart zone wreaking havoc on the driver that is not in control of the starts.
Yeah, it's just a really weird spot. You're not out of the corner yet. You're still turning left. You can't really see the leader when you're doing that, and it just comes up on you really quick. It's just not conducive to a good restart if you're not the leader. That's really all there is to it.
Matt Johnston hanging out in the chat with us. Hello, hello. Daredevil will be back in a little under a month. Tomorrow night is the final ASRL race of the season. At Daytona Moto, I guess the final races of the season. GT4 title, I believe, is locked up. GT3,
Not
who
even
knows?
close.
Not even close. 4 drivers in it, and any one of them could do it.
That is going to be a wild event to watch.
At the Moto as well. Take Oval 1 and 2 out of the equation, but Oval 3 and 4 will still give you plenty of a draft.
And those corners on the Moto course are pretty slick as well. I mean, it's not going to be an easy task by any means.
Well, neither is what is in front of these drivers here. Lap 157 of 190 about to go up on the board. John Kay trying to put it away for the first time this season after a runner-up last week at Charlotte. Dan Eglin just trying to put it away for the first time. Back it away. I mean, that honestly is about the best restart we've seen from a second-place driver. And he lost John Kay by nearly 3 truck lengths there.
Yeah, it still wasn't close.
Oh no, spin, Garrarini! He checks up some drivers further back in the field, but I think we're going to stay green.
Yeah, everybody had to slow down big time, but nobody went around, so caution does not fly, but those drivers are going to be well behind the pack.
And Rainey on the fresh tires there. Had to believe that played a role in it. It's Kay leading Miglin side by side for third. Breeding and Palumbo teammates making contact there down the backstretch. Breeding with a kiss of the wall, looking for his first top 5 of the season.
The 05, Chad Stearns, trying to make his way into the top 5. Don't want to let him get too close and have another caution come out, get to regroup.
Stearns started nearly at the tail end of this field, 29th of our 31 drivers.
Whew. Close quarters there between Stearns and Breeding.
Certainly. Fried and Engrav battling for 9th. As now it's Jan Van Leer and Eric Breeding battling for 5th. And Stearns there. 4 trucks under a blanket.
If you got a big enough blanket, it's just about 8 trucks. Stearns doing a great job here. Stearns not quite able to clear, but noses out. Currently scored in 4th.
Using this top side and using it well as the caution is out. Darby Marriott the round down the back stretch. Just as, again, Miglin started to close back in on John Kay.
Here's the incident here for the 42. And we've seen it too many times tonight. Just gets loose off the bottom there out of turn 2. Pretty big contact there with the inside wall. And with very little apron, the caution comes out.
By the way, at the front of that shot, you saw the 53 of Kyle Zittel back out on track. Only 91 laps down.
I don't think he's going to have much time to make that many up.
No, I don't think so. Still have quite a few drivers trying to get laps back here. Steve Vroman is the lucky dog right now. And he just said meep meep to Matt Schlosser, who was in his way.
Couple drivers down pit road here as well. Rodney Matney is one of them.
Eric Breeding, Luke Peterson,
Rob Williams, Kenneth Graves.
Austin Holyfield, who was having a quiet top 15 run. Zittel and Journeau as well.
That's going to be interesting to see how they can shake out.
With Vroman back on the lead lap, that gives us nobody 1 lap down. 3 drivers are 2 laps down, Rutherford, Journeau, and Marriott. Boy, that, he kind of caused the caution that shot himself in the foot, but Rutherford was on for a great run today, and that's unfortunate to see him languishing now back in 20th, 2 laps down.
For those drivers that just came down pit road, they are going to be have about 30 lap fresher tires than most of the folks in front of them. And still plenty of time to work. They'll have over 20 laps to work here as long as it stays green for that long.
Well, I'm looking at Rondi Matney out of that bunch. He has had a pretty good pace all night. Maybe not to sneak up for a win, per se, but to rocket back into the top 10, potentially the top 5? Sure, why not?
Just can't make the mistake on the cold tires feeling like you can run it in there like you have been for, the last 30 laps that you were on that set. You got to be careful here the first 2 or 3 laps to at least give yourself a shot to really use them.
Steve Roman is still on pit road, and now he will exit and stay on the lead lap. All right, we're doubling up. Miglin seems to have enough pace. Can he survive a restart? Can we get enough green flag laps in for him to maybe try and go for the win here? And if he gets within bumper distance here in the closing laps, I think the bumper is going to be employed. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind. Yep. Okay, with a good restart now, here is Chad Stearns to third and to the outside for second. Interstellar, second and third right now is nearly contact between the 2 teammates. Oh, Palumbo!
Palumbo gets into the back of Stearns.
There goes the 05 on the outside of 3-1.
Come on, big contact.
There's Jan. Caution. Oh, boy.
Oh, man, he gets pounded into Schlosser as well.
That was bowling shoe ugly out of turn number 4. Back under the caution.
Wow, that piece of sheet metal is on the moon right now. No gravity.
Not what I thought you were going to say. I heard the alternative a couple times last night. Well, that was a big crash. Rodney Matney may be out of this race after looking like he was in the driver's seat there.
I think it's just about guaranteed that Matney and Schlosser are both out.
Well, no meatball flag for Schlosser, but he took some big shots there. He'll have plenty of damage to fix.
Oh, well, he doesn't have a nose on his truck, so...
Yeah. The old chain reaction at Richmond.
It certainly was. Let's see if we can figure out what in the world happens here. I had a tough time seeing where this actually started. It might have started in front of these folks.
I think it was with Palumbo tagging Chad Stearns. I think that's where it all started.
Well, they got you're you're absolutely right. Well, it kind of Miglin and Stearns just about got together, and Palumbo absolutely sends it, gets into the back of Stearns, and then Stearns ends up 3 wide with Jan Van Leer and Matt Schlosser. Schlosser's in the middle and is not given a lot of room. That looks a lot like the Iowa Cup Series race from Sunday. So Jan Van Leer and Schlosser are going to go for a ride. Stearns is able... Wow, look at Hunter Engrav sneak through there. What a move from Engrav. That was so close. Josh Reed able to skate through with pretty minimal damage as well, but Matney gets punted. I think that was by Peterson straight into the 4. Eric Breeding with some contact here as well. I think Palumbo probably had a pretty good look at that one. I'd like to take a look from his point of view.
I'd say he had a pretty good look.
Let's go ahead and back it up to that straightaway. Go to the cockpit cam, and we're going to let it play. That's short track restarts right there. No question about it.
Well, no Andy Poliski tonight, but word on the street for Season 5 was that he had a golden horseshoe. He may have gifted it to Hunter Engrav, because Engrav did not make it through that wreck by much. And now, all of a sudden, he's in a great spot, up in P5 with fresher tires than the drivers in front of him.
Yeah, it was, 30 laps ago, it was looking pretty grim there for the 28. He's gotten a couple of cautions that have really helped him out. And he's in a great position to get on the podium, if not maybe for a win here, but that would take a lot to be able to get up to John Kay and Dan Miglin.
If we had happened to go caution-free after that the green flag pit cycle was interrupted, Engrav would have been toast. He may not have even finished on the lead lap with much older tires. And now, like you said, the potential is here for the sweep to happen. After taking Charlotte last week, a win is possible. He's going to have to get through some stout talent to do it, but he himself is the stout talent. We'll have to see. Inside of 20 to go. John Kay in control. Another great restart for him. Miglin now in second, trying to fend off Stearns and Van Leer. Where does the run come from? Jan on the outside.
Oh, Miglin! Wow, that was close. Not much room to squeeze in. Here goes Engrav. Tries to dive underneath of Stearns.
Flipped the apron there.
I think he thought Stearns was going to come down into him, so went a little bit lower than he meant to. Just a reactionary move, but him and Stearns now side by side. McKinnon and Palumbo behind him.
McKinnon on fresher tires than even Engrav. Oh, boy. Super loose there. Garrett Rainey lurking behind, also on fresh tires.
Engrav able to sneak underneath, able to clear Chad Stearns.
Miglin and Van Leer second and third, trying to give chase. They're 3 wide behind Hunter Engrav.
Oh, wow. There's contact between McKinnon and the 05. Still contact.
Oh, McKinnon sailed it off. Stearns going to get back underneath. Hunter Engrav in fourth has the purple lap, and he is going for third now.
Dan Miglin reeled in John Kay a 1/10 of a second that last lap around.
Twelve laps to go. Everybody
Engrav
close it in on John Kay.
Engrav looks like he could potentially be in the driver's seat here. He has moved forward quickly, a little bit fresher tire than those in front of him. Does he have enough time to get up there?
Jan back to fourth up to deal with McKinnon here. As Palumbo's gotten through now and Chad Stearns as well.
If Miglin gets the boxing gloves out for Engrav, John Kay is going to love to see it.
Well, the top three are pretty equidistant right now. About 2 truck lengths between each. So I'm sure Miglin is still focusing forward right now. Inside of 10 laps to go here at Richmond. One thing John Kay does not want to see right now is a caution. Tightening up again. 8 to go.
Engrav moves up a lane, trying to get a little bit of momentum off the top side of the racetrack. Back down to the bottom through turns 3 and 4. A little bit of a wiggle there out of John Kay.
7 to go.
The top 3 keep tightening up little by little.
Okay, with some distance that time. Not out of danger yet. Neither is Miglin. Oh no, caution! Austin Holyfield. Oh boy. Well, now what do you do?
Well, you can't come down pit road, that's for sure. But Engrav is sitting here with a little bit fresher tires.
If you're John Kay, do you mix up your line to block Hunter Engrav? Or do you stay to the top side?
I think you stick with what you know at this point.
And indeed, Kay says over the radio, I'm sticking to the top. Called that one out early. Must have heard me ask the question.
Well, here's a look at the incident that brought the caution out. Eric Breeding gets a big run here on Kenneth Graves and Holyfield and decides to take it up the middle.
Oy.
And unfortunately gets down into the 10 there on entry. And Graves takes a pretty good shot. Ooh, good shot for Holyfield into the outside wall as well. Like a Steve Roman dirt track and trying to keep out of it. No matter what happens here, and we're going to keep harping on it because it's just a beautiful thing, the truck has delivered.
Great truck. They've killed it. For
Thank
sure.
you, iRacing devs.
Pit stops from Zittel, Ellison, and Matney, all off the lead lap. Corey Rutherford also comes down pit road, and Rutherford is now back on the lead lap. That's 2 consecutive lucky dogs for the 50.
Will this be the final restart?
So this is going to dip into overtime by 2 laps. I think we would have taken the 1 to go there originally, but we've got to extend the laps of the race now.
I mean, it's going to be a green-white checkered scenario, and I know undoubtedly this falls into the hands of John Kay. We've talked about multiple times, even very early on in the race, just how much of an advantage the leader has on a restart. And here we are. It's going to come down to John Kay getting one more good restart. He's had so many here tonight. He just needs to do it potentially one more time.
It's tense, that's for sure. Kane looking for a win. The 8th of his career, first of the season. Meglin looking for his first win. Jan van Leer looking for his second. And Engrav looking for his second in a row after the big win at Charlotte last week. And we've seen the top 4 wreck out of turn number 4 before. So McKinnon and Peterson there on run number 3. Just keep them in mind. 2 laps to go. A mile and a half. Meglin, not a good start. Spins the tires. Here's Jan to the outside for second. 3 wide further back is Palumbo getting shuffled out.
Looked like John might have made a little bit of mistake there on entry, not getting away. Here comes Jan van Leer on the top side.
Just a short dash to get back to the line. We are across. White flag. Next flag ends it. John K. leading Jan van Leer. Meglin and Engrav side by side.
Oh, Engrav's loose!
Can he save it? He does! Checkered flag is out, and it's John K. back to victory lane for the second time in a row here at Richmond. Jan van Leer's second podium of the season, and Dan Meglin, first career podium with the Venom Truck Series. Peterson and Engrav crash for 4th behind. What a race here tonight at Richmond.
Yeah, this was awesome. Drivers put on a great show. Big green flag runs, crazy restarts, 3 and 4 wide. They gave us everything we could ever want.
Career victory number 8, and he has now eclipsed 1,000 career laps led in the Venom Truck Series with his performance tonight. And there are the Super Kick and Alabama Gang contingent, as they always are for a team win. If one of them wins, they all win. It's the Freebird rule. The K gets the honors.
He's cranking that wheel so hard trying to do this burnout. His camera's shaking.
He is going to be fired up.
I might have to get the timer out for this one.
I think you will.
Oh, he's got the wheel off.
Fantastic.
Well, what do you say we get to that starting or finishing order?
Yes, indeed. Let's do it. As it's K with the win, Van Leer in second. Meglin, the hard charger tonight, plus 21. We'll round out the podium. We'll talk to all 3 momentarily, hopefully anyway. 4th place for Luke Peterson. Great run for Preach with his best finish of the season. Hunter Engrav then will finish a respectable P5 after how it was stacking up against him there at the midpoint of the race. Jeremy McKinnon, likewise a good run in 6th tonight. Matt Schlosser did not have a front clip on at the end of that race, by the way. He still finished in 7th. Chad Stearns then will finish in P8, also plus 21 tonight. Tyler Logan in 9th, and Hayden Palumbo right where he started back in the 10th finishing position. Josh Freed, I jinxed him a little bit, but still finished in 11th. Garrett Rainey will finish in 12th. Rob Williams, career best 13th place finish here tonight. Nice run for Rob. 14th, for the 14th, Kenneth Graves And that is his best career finish, I do believe. Actually, that is his best career short track finish, not his best career overall. Regardless, nice run for Kenneth Graves tonight. 15th for Steve Roman, 16th for Austin Holyfield, 17th for Pascal Simard, Corey Rutherford in 18th, and Eric Breeding, the last driver on the lead lap in P19. Rodney Matney one down in 20th. 21st is Jordan Journeau. 22nd, Darby Marriott. 23rd, Gary Clark. 24th, Zach Lockett. 25th, Josh Jackson. Paul Ellison, 26th. Joshua Motocek in 27th. Kyle Zittel, last truck running in P28. And it's DNFs for Cole Maxwell in 29th. Leo Smith in 30th. And Ryan Dye in the 31st. Waiting room not particularly populated right now. Only John Kay waiting for us. We'll go looking for both Dan Miglin and for Jan Van Leer. I do see Dan Miglin, so we're going to hot swap him in to booth 200 here in just a second. And Dan Miglin now is in booth 200 for the first time here on a Tuesday night. Congrats on your first career Venom Truck Series podium.
Thank you.
This is one that we kind of had pegged for you. It didn't get off to a promising start with a 24th place qualifying effort, but we know from Truck 200 you are not to be messed with on these short tracks, and you took it straight to the front.
I couldn't believe how bad my quali turned out. So I just tried to keep my nose down. I got lucky a little bit, I'll admit, on the pit strategy, and things just went my way. Kept running my laps. That's all there is to short track racing.
You make it sound so easy, and yet I've never had any good runs like that. Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, congrats on the great finish. Drivers struggled with the trucks quite a bit here. It's very hot track temperatures. It was really difficult there in practice. It looked like got a little bit better through the race, it seemed. But how hard is it to be aggressive to try and make the moves, but knowing that the truck is so unsteady here?
It's tough. It's not even the being aggressive that's tough. It's reining yourself in that's tough, especially when you've got fresher tires. Like around lap 60, around when that caution came out, I had fresh tires. Like most of the top 10 did not. You want to just blitz them because you got such a huge tire advantage, but you can't because then they're going to pit and you're going to have nothing. So the harder part is reining it in and knowing that as long as you're still just putting down those slightly faster laps, you're going to get there.
Well, you had two good runs going in the first two races this season. They were cut short, but no such bad luck here tonight. A hard-fought and well-deserved P3 for you here at Richmond, and more smaller tracks to come here in the next couple weeks. How are we feeling about The Rock next week?
Love it. I love my bumpy old wooden roller coaster of a track.
That's a great description. I never thought of it that way. Yes, congrats on your first podium here. First of many here with the Venom Truck Series, I'm sure. Who do you want to shout out? Who do you want to say hi to?
Shout out to the team, Interstellar Sim Racing Ventures, 3 cars in the top 10. Let's go.
Great night for the team and a great night for you. Go celebrate the podium. We'll talk to you again here soon.
Thank you.
And I couldn't figure out how to drag him there. We'll bring in Jan Van Leer for the second time already. 2 for 3 on podium finishes, partner. Nice job tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Well, it started good. Outside pole. Kind of got caught out with some tire strategy there. It looked bleak. But you have rallied very nicely tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, that was probably the hardest I've ever had to drive. To get back through the field and cut through traffic and stuff. I felt like Kyle Larson. It was pretty awesome. That 5 on the side of my car I guess it was doing something.
It was a good omen, if anything.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, being pinned down, you got the lucky dog there after that long green flag run. Is that right?
I did, just barely.
And then, I mean, from there, you just have to pick up the pieces where you can, and then all of a sudden, you find yourself in a great spot there in the final couple restarts.
Definitely, yeah. We had a super fast VB long neck Chevy Silverado there. The team, well, I guess the team kind of left me. I was driving by myself there the second half of the race, but Cole and Dean and Brantley were gone. But the truck was super fast and was able to keep it in one piece. And yeah, that's kind of just felt good. Sometimes you just feel good.
Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here. We saw some of the drivers in those later cautions come down pit road, get fresh tires, thinking that it might help them in the long run. Is that something that you ever considered, knowing that you were going to have to continue to work forward? Thought that maybe it would help you, or was there never a doubt? You were just sticking with them and trying to march to the front?
Well, after getting caught out when John Cape did his little sneaky pit there, I was cursing myself. I just figured I'm going to do whatever John does. I think he was the other best car there, and I knew that if I'd kind of just stuck with him, at least I wouldn't finish bad. But I did think about pitting, and at a couple points, I was actually cursing myself that I didn't pit. But it ended up working out. I knew once I realized I was going to have the outside row on that last restart, I felt a lot better.
Well, I would say, because you ended up with a podium here, 11th of your career, second of the season already. Looking to, I'm sure you'll be behind John in the point standing still, but in a great spot headed into Rockingham next week. So exciting times here.
Yes, sir.
Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out here tonight?
I want to thank you guys, thank the league, thank my partner and my dog. She was real scared because they're shooting off fireworks in my neighborhood, so she was laying next to me while I was racing, so that was pretty cool. And one thing I've been meaning to say it, I keep forgetting every time, so this is part of the reason I really wanted to get a podium today. Talk about something that we haven't really talked about, and give a big shout out to someone who sometimes is got a bit of a controversial history with us, but is an important part of our league. That would be our league founder, Brendan Turner. I just want to give him a big shout out for putting this league together initially, for tapping me to join, for getting this initial core group of people together. So it's a really amazing group of guys, and no matter what happened along the way, I will always be thankful for that. And I just really wanted to say that. That's pretty much it.
Well, go celebrate another podium here tonight. They're coming in bunches here, so I'm sure we'll talk to you again here real soon.
Heck yeah, thank you guys.
And now, for the 8th time in his career with the Venom Truck Series, it's this guy named John Kay getting the dub once again, and the 2nd time here at Richmond Raceway. Congratulations.
Thank you. Feels good.
I'm sure it does. To do the burnouts once again here after a pretty hard-fought race victory here tonight, where it kind of seemed like in the closing stretch after the cautions bred the cautions and the cautions bred the cautions, the walls seemed to be closing in on you a bit there right before that final caution came out. Were you at all worried trying to bring this one home?
Yeah, I was. I mean, it's hard not to. I know Hunter was really, really, really fast early, and same thing with Jan, and Schlosser was really good on the short run. It just, I was getting nervous, but shout out to the guys. They calmed me down and reminded me that, they had to work their tail off to get back up there. So took a little bit of the pressure off, and then I just had to go and do my job on a couple of restarts, and that's, just at that point, control what you can control.
I'm not saying you would not have got the race win without this, but that juke onto pit road really set you up very, very nicely.
Yeah. I did not intend on pitting, and then I literally just slammed on the brakes, pulled it down, downshifted a couple times. I really couldn't tell you how I didn't smoke the barrels. If I would have, I guarantee you I'd have just said that my wheel messed up or something, then I hit the barrels. So but yeah, man, I mean, I pretty much knew that I couldn't beat him straight up. I could get a good restart and get behind Jan or get behind Hunter and be in front of Jan and Matt and kind of run my pace, or I could get stuck behind Matt and Jan, or behind Matt or behind Jan, whichever, however it went. And I could just pretty much be stuck there. Couldn't really do too much, just waiting for the tires to fall off, or I could do something. It would have been pretty stupid had it not worked, but it worked out, and I'll be happy and thankful it went green after that. If we'd have piled up some cautions, I'd have been pretty screwed, but it went green, and it went green for a long time, and was kind of glad the caution came out when it did, because I would have been short on fuel, but I think we'd have just kind of figured it out from there. And hey, we'll take it. It got accomplished a goal for me tonight, so pretty happy about that. Couple goals, really.
Matt, what do you got for the race winner?
Well, a big congratulations to our boy John K. Tommy talked to you about one split-second decision. I want to talk to you about another. After you came down pit road on lap 60, I think quite a few of you did. About 12 of you did, I believe. You had to make some very aggressive moves to get through some of the traffic of the folks that did not come down pit road. I mean, is that just pure instinct, or are you telling yourself in the moment, I have to make aggressive moves? That's the only way that this tire advantage is working.
I really think, see, it's funny you say that because I had to keep reminding myself to be patient because I got trapped behind Luke and Tyler Logan, I think, or trapped next to Tyler Logan, I guess, trapped behind Luke, who was trapped behind Jan. That's what it was. But it was really just a lot of just be patient, be patient, be patient. And honestly, shout out Hayden. Hayden had the inside there for a couple of corners. And I don't know, it's probably something on my end. I probably pinched down a little bit and he backed out, which my bad, Hayden. But he ended up giving up the bottom. And I was like, hey, I got a little room to operate, but I just still need to just take a deep breath, stay calm, and be patient and just pass when I can. And then once it started getting more single file, then it was just, I have the tires and the brakes are going to be better on the newer tires, and just get to the inside of guys and nice long steady brake in there and get them up off the corner where the drive off was really, really good on the new rubber.
Well, this feels good for you, I'm sure, but it feels good for us as well. It's always great to get to talk to you here as a race winner. And looking pretty good now in the points as well, with Engrav finishing a couple spots behind you. Things looking up headed into the Rock next week. How do we feel about Autodromo Dwayne Johnson?
I feel pretty good. I love Rockingham. I'm sure the new trucks there are going to be an absolute blast to drive. I mean, the last time I remember racing there, I coming back after taking a pretty extended vacation, and me and Nathan ran nose to tail pretty well the whole race, but it sucked to drive, honestly. So new truck build. Richmond was a freaking blast. It was still kind of the same old Richmond, but at the same time, it had its different challenges, and I'm sure Rockingham will be the same way. I'm super pumped to go there. Another short track. Just need to have another fun race. Really, I mean, that's all it is right now. Points don't really matter. So until we get to the last 5 races of the season or whatever it is, so we'll just keep trucking along, try and pick up a couple of trophies, and then really get locked in for the last 5 weeks of the season and try to get a big one. That's what it's all about.
2 crews rocking and rolling here. John K., who do you want to shout out? Who do you want to thank?
Well, first got to shout out my girlfriend. She's amazing. She was coming in and checking where I was running and how many laps there were. So it was not a distraction, but it was fun seeing her peek in and knowing that I was running good. So yeah, she's incredible. Love her to death. Shout out my mom and dad, even though my dad's gonna be pissed. So I said mom and dad, whatever. Father's Day was this past weekend, so shout out my dad. Thank you for all you've done. I appreciate it. Shout out the Alabama gang, Superkick, Hayden, Kyle, Garrett, Paul, Eric, Luke, Nathan helping out a little. Well, not this week, but Nathan usually helping out. I don't think I forgot anybody this time. Flinky wasn't here. Flinky's going through some stuff right now, so shout out Flinky. I think I got Eric. I think I got everybody this time. So yeah, shout out. I mean, those guys are incredible. So much information shared, and I mean, just running laps all together and putting in the work, doing what we do best, which is trying to make each other better. And it's a great feeling, and they're so supportive. I think is another thing that I kind of take for granted sometimes and makes me kind of a crappy friend and a crappy teammate, but they do a good job of keeping me focused and keeping my eye on the prize and, you know, letting me know, like tonight, you know, hey, all you got to do is nail a couple of restarts and you're good. And yeah, so I hate that Paul kind of had a rough race. Hate Zittel had a rough race, but those two guys had incredible speed. I wish they'd got a chance to show it. And then Luke Garrett did a good job hanging in there. Eric did until a late wreck. So Hayden was really quick too. I wish we could have finished 1-2. I think he really deserved that. He was running really well. So yeah, we'll keep working and we'll keep doing what we do best, which is just grinding it out every week. Shout out my boss and the man that gave me the desk, so I'm able to do this. Shout out Sean Schaefer. And shout out my little buddy RJ that watches my YouTube videos, and anybody else that watches my YouTube videos that comes in here when I post the link, which I kind of forgot to do today, but hopefully they subscribe to you guys. And shout out my YouTube channel. That is, it's a dumpster fire right now. I haven't uploaded anything in like a month, so probably should do that, but it's fine. And then shout out you guys. Lastly, I mean, you guys take the time out of your week to do this for us. And quite frankly, it's the best damn broadcast duo on iRacing, and nobody can touch you guys. So I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Thank you for listening to me ramble and giving me an opportunity to be dumb and but making me and my friends superstars.
Hey, we don't give you this opportunity. You earned this opportunity here tonight with a race win. So keep it up. We'll have many more chats down the road here. But go celebrate, go party. And
yeah.
we will definitely be talking to you again here very soon.
Shout out the Kosher Pickle Brand. If you know, you know.
You getting a kosher pickle tonight?
I might. I think I got some down in the old refrigerator. So did they turn
available at all supermarkets?
Hold on a second. Did they turn the freaking? I can't find it. They turned the sound effects off. What the heck?
I just want to say this may be on the verge of a record here.
That's garbage. Shut up, Matt. All right.
Are you trying to do the soundboard in here?
Yeah, I can't find it.
I'm sure you probably permission blocked, and I didn't do it. But
that's bull. All right, I'm leaving. Love you guys. Bye bye. Love everybody.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
And the hot exit mid sentence for John K. Yeah.
You want to know the number?
Yeah, let's hear it.
9 minutes and 43 seconds.
I don't think that's the record.
I don't think that's the record. I think the record's like 13.
I was going to say, I think we got to 13 or 14 at Watkins Glen a couple seasons ago. It's still up there, though. Still definitely probably top 5, because we've had 7 of John K's 8 wins with the Venom Truck Series. One of them was when I was away, so I don't think you realized what you were in for at the North Wilkesboro win, the Sundrop race a couple of years ago. But yeah, great race for John K here tonight. Great race for a lot of folks, especially Matt Schlosser overcoming some damage there late. Hunter Engrav with a great drive back up through the field after it was stacked up against him. Dan Miglin pulling off a great podium here, as we've kind of come to expect here at the short tracks. Jan Van Leer was all over the damn joint tonight, not on the track, but like in the leaderboard. So for him to get back up to second was fantastic. Kenneth Graves, Rob Williams sneaking in with decent runs as well. I mean, great night here tonight at Richmond, not just for the storylines to come out of it, but again, like you said, home run with this truck, and it just proves itself again.
Yeah, man, really good stuff here. I mean, it's really gonna be a pleasure to watch these guys work all season long. You know, John talked about taking advantage or taking for granted some of the things that he's got going on with the team. I think sometimes we take for granted just how fun these Tuesday nights can be. We were off for quite a while, and the races since we've been back have just been absolute bangers. So shout out to all the drivers. Appreciate all that they do, and for having us here for the broadcast. Love that they enjoy this so much. It makes us feel good. And shout out to everybody else that was watching here with us tonight. Nathan Reynolds was in the chat. Sorry, did not get that message to John, but I'm sure he will get it at some point. Cole Maxwell, Goodleaf was here. Bailey cheering on Joshua Motocek. Thank you for tuning in and watching, chatting with us here. Pamela Engrav. Hunter couldn't quite get it done there at the end, but still a good race for him regardless. JJ Wang was here with us tonight. Awesome to see JJ in the chat. Matt Johnston. Great to see Matt here as well. Brian K cheering on John, of course. Logan Lester cheering on Ryan. Kyle Zittel, AP Lewis. I think I got them all. If I missed somebody, I apologize. But thank you guys for tuning in, chatting with us. I really appreciate it. And you won't want to miss tomorrow night. We have an epic championship battle in the GT3 class in the ASRL Sports Car Championship.
4 drivers have a shot at it, and a realistic one as well. It's not, none of them are long shots. They can all do it pretty easily. So GT4 is about wrapped up, but GT3 battle is fierce between 4 of the top dogs in the class. So that is at Daytona Moto for the final 2 races of the season. Tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time is when we will be live for the ASRL Sports Car Championship Season 4 finale. Thursday night, the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series rolls off from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I do want to say that we will be back on Sunday with the Mission R Challenge. If you wondered where this week's stream was, my PC just decided to not. It just didn't do it. So I've uninstalled and reinstalled almost every program on my PC. I finally got it working today. I'm going to re-record, or not re-record, I'm going to record this previous Sunday's race from Laguna Seca. We'll put that out on Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon we will be back with PMR racing action. And see, now I'm so far behind, I don't even know where we're at next week. Or this coming week, I suppose. Give me just a second to go look. Algarve will make its debut on Turn 200 on Sunday afternoon. So technically a doubleheader of action, but Algarve will be live, and Laguna Seca will be tape delayed from the previous Sunday. So yes, that is what we've got on Sunday afternoon. That will lead us back in here Tuesday night for the Venom Truck Series next week from Rockingham, The Rock. Yes, indeed. One of the longest race titles we've ever had, but not even one of the longest ones that we're going to have this season. It is the Can We Be the Next North Wilkesboro 145 presented by We Got COVID Money 2 Foundation. So, technically the Charlotte race name was longer than that. And that may be it. We'll see what these guys come up with over the season. And to point out as well, I believe in 2 Mondays from now, so not this Monday, but next Monday, it'll be the RIL Figure 8 Frenzy, presented by Dakota DeMade. We'll have 4 Mondays of Figure 8 racing. 2 of those, I believe, scheduled at least tentatively to be in the rain. And a wild list of tracks, or rather car track combos in there. So if you want to be a part of Figure 8 Frenzy, come join our Discord. We'll get you pointed over to the RAL Discord and signed up. Yeah, so that is what we got here for you. We'll hope to see everybody back at Rockingham next week, and we will go celebrate a John K. win, I guess, the only way we know how, which is to go party. But that's all we got for you here tonight with everybody with the Venom Truck Series. For the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook saying until we meet again, so long from Richmond Raceway, where John K. stands tall over the field tonight. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.